How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, very good.
Good.
Had a little bit of brief, I don't know if you call it a scare, I guess, here in Brisbane with the second lockdown potential. But
Okay.
it was a quick 3 day lockdown just to get this one case under control, and it went well, so we're back to it now.
One case.
Yeah, it was actually ironically, it's someone has the UK strain.
Okay.
It's like the super contagious one, so they wanted to lock it down hard and get on top of it. And yeah, it was all sweet.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a lockdown now. We kind of, I think, as a nation, largely took the piss a bit at Christmas. That seems to be what happened anyway. And yeah, so we've got the schools are closed. Like I'm teaching from home, my wife's teaching from home. And then I think they're going to be closed for the rest of this month anyway. And then I don't know. It seems like it might go on a bit longer, but yeah, we've got the UK strain and the South African strain here at the same time. And then I saw, now I don't know how much this is true and how much of it is like scare tactics or I don't know, like clickbait maybe. But I saw
Yeah,
a headline there this morning that was like, fourth super contagious strain discovered, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, it's like,
yeah. Look, my views on the whole COVID thing are probably a little bit anti-mainstream, and I guess I could sum it up in one story. So this person, this girl, tests for the UK strain. She's a cleaner at the hotels where everyone has to do their quarantining. So that, I mean, eventually one of those people is going to get it, right? They're taking every precaution, but they're literally cleaning rooms that people are quarantining in. Um, but then the story comes out. It's like one of the things that scared us at the end of the lockdown that it might go for longer is that her husband, who initially tested negative, actually they retested him and he was positive. And without even going into all the craziness of that, just the fact that if someone is a positive case with this apparently super contagious strain, why is their husband, who they live with and have the most contact with, even like considered to be not on the list? Like, I don't care what the test says, you would assume, like,
yeah,
why would you go into lockdown with your wife? Like, what, you got something better to do for the next 2 weeks? I don't understand. Like, that whole situation sounds to me like you couldn't, like, if it was a story you were writing, you'd just say it's like lazy writing.
yeah, yeah,
But it's apparently real life, so whatever.
yeah. I know. There's a load of stuff here where, say, I think they're just getting overrun with. It's probably different there now. That's a different scenario. If that's one case in the whole area that they're worried about, they probably
Yeah,
should have done a bit more. But I know here, say the health service is getting overran, so there came a point where it was like, do you know what? We just won't test close contacts anymore. Like unless they're like showing, three symptoms, we won't test them. And then it was like, okay, unless you're showing six symptoms, we're not testing you because they just couldn't keep up with the tests.
yeah,
So like,
yeah,
yeah, no, it is there is a lot of stuff. But then you hear like loads of uh people saying that it's like the government are trying to control us and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, what possible benefit would there be for like, like no matter what way I look at it, I can't see an outcome where it's like, well, that went really well. I'm really happy with how that all turned out. We've definitely got control over the people again because we made like them stay at home. It's like, yeah, you fucked your whole economy to get the people to stay at home for a few weeks. Like, like no matter what way I look at it, I can't see a way where it's a good outcome for anyone. This like, I don't know,
yeah,
like the control aspect just doesn't have any positive outcome for like this like overlord government thing. I don't see how they win out of
yeah,
it, and I don't see how we win out of it. Like I just don't get it. I don't know, like maybe I need to read
yeah.
more blogs or something.
Yeah, I think. Look, if you were a subscriber to that theory, I think the idea would be that there might be like a few select people that stand to benefit from just general chaos, most of which are embroiled heavily in like American politics, for example, and the rest of the world, it just revealed how completely useless governments are at doing the jobs they are literally like exist for.
Yeah.
And that being said, I mean, we give it a hard time. The government here in Australia is pretty good across the board. Like, we give them a hard time, but it's our state.
Considering the population, like, I mean, you've come out like relatively unscathed, and like, I guess you've got the benefit, same as New Zealand, you've got the benefit of just being like, right, nobody in. So like,
that's right. Yeah, without international travel, they can just, there was very few community transfers. And so Australia, we were separated into states as well as America. And so our state, we're in Queensland, our premier just closed the border. It's like, no, you can't come in. If you're not from Queensland, just literally can't get to the state. If you're a Queensland resident, you can come in with a permit, you have to quarantine, blah, blah, blah. You know, they just locked it down. You got a lot of criticism from the southern states, like the New South Wales and Victorian governments were like, oh, this is silly. Like, there should just be good screening like that. She was just like, no, fuck that. And literally, like, yeah, we've been very fortunate in Queensland. We've had very little negative, you know, anything. Like, we came out of that very first lockdown. The whole world went to lockdown that first time, obviously, but we came out of that really quick. We've had almost no restrictions. This one little scare over in a weekend. Like, we've been really, really fortunate. So, you know, can't complain too hard. Like, I think our government did a decent job.
Yeah. So it's like being handed a vat of diarrhea and a colander and just being like, there you go, now you can sort that out. It's like, you know, like in fairness, it's like, I know the word unprecedented is thrown around a lot, but fucking hell, they surely weren't expecting this when they ran for office. Like,
that's right. I think, you know, the irony is I don't think it actually is unprecedented at all. And, you know, everyone kept comparing it to the Spanish flu, and like, I mean, that's just even in the last 100 years. And I think this kind of stuff happens, you know, not all the time. It's a funny phrase, but across human history, this kind of stuff happens all the time. But it's just the context. Like, it's just in this modern era. It's like in the States when they were recording all the cases, and then Trump was like, we only have high cases because we're testing. And everyone's like, oh, you're an idiot. But then, like, as you say, like, every other country just stopped testing. And then all of a sudden their numbers are down because you're not getting the positives. And it's like, oh, you must be doing okay then. But then you get a bunch of positives in America because they're testing, and they're doing really badly. It's what's unprecedented about the modern era is just how easily every Tom, Dick, and Larry can jump on and have an opinion on the internet. Whereas in, you know, 1901, when Spanish influenza was raging, you just finished a world war, so everyone's like, oh, I guess people will just die. I mean, we lost everyone we know just last year. And then B, you couldn't, like, voice how terribly you thought the government was doing. So all we read about in the textbook is, like, Winston Churchill's famous address. You don't hear all the guys at home whinging about how England really stuffed up the Battle of Dunkirk. You know, you don't hear that. It won't make the annals of history. But, you know, we're living in the time where everyone can have their opinion and you know, and throw around their buzzwords for safe for clickbait. And it's so it feels like we're breaking ground here, but really it's just, I think it's just, you know, the cycle repeats, if you will.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see a Twitter feed of like 1945. So like us. So
yeah, there's some good memes that people set that up. They get like some accounts together and they do. Yeah. Like there's this one great one where it was like, if Twitter existed in 1776, it's like the British are coming, and it goes, this tweet has been flagged as misleading. Not all the British are coming, just the British Army. So it's partly unfalse, partly untrue. It's like,
I think though, it's so easy to find yourself in an echo chamber as well, where like if you think the government are doing a great job, it's really easy to find, like, to filter things where all you see is people agreeing with you that the government are doing a great job, reaffirming your belief, or vice versa. If you think they're a pile of assholes, like, you'll find it pretty quickly. And then Twitter and Facebook and Instagram they're great for showing you things that you've shown in the past that you enjoyed looking at. Like, so it'll just keep showing you other people saying like, yeah, you're right, you're really clever, like, you know, keep believing that, like, so
Yeah, exactly. I think the mistake people make is people think that social media generates. Well, I think that people think that social media like reflects facts, but it actually generates so-called facts out of opinions.
Yeah.
It's just a big room where everyone's yelling.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not loading information per se.
Yeah.
You just think you are because, as you say, you're in your echo chamber hearing what people who think like you are thinking. And if enough people say they're thinking a certain way, you can believe that's how it is, even though there's no evidence for that at all.
Yeah.
So,
well, anyway.
Light warm-up chat.
Yeah. We'll.
So how are you doing?